The iFly 737 MAX is drawing closer to release, and we've been lucky to receive a preview copy of the product to give you guys a closer look. Let's dive right in and put the iFly 737 MAX through its paces. Welcome aboard Flight Simmers, my name is Adam and welcome back to another Information Alpha video. If you're new around here, then please consider clicking the like, subscribe and ding dong the little notification bell to stay up to date with the latest Information Alpha content. We've also got a Discord server that you're more than welcome to join and be a part of the community and discuss all things aviation. Now, this is a pre-release copy given to us by the team at Flight 1, so things you see may not be in full working order or slightly buggy still, and may change prior to the full release, so please bear this in mind while watching the video. This isn't a review video, however it's just my thoughts and opinions about the aircraft and the features that it packs, so let's dive right in. Starting off with some facts about the Boeing 737 MAX8 aircraft. Now, as we all know, it's a narrow-bodied twin-engine jet airliner, but the design dates all the way back to the late 1960s. This is the newest version of the 737 family, and it replaces the highly popular Boeing 737NG series. It has a wingspan of 35.69 meters and a total length of the aircraft is 39.5 meters, and can comfortably cruise at a maximum of 41,000 feet. The MAX is quite the capable aircraft with the ability to cross the pond. For instance, the Air Canada flight from Halifax to London Heathrow. The range of the aircraft is a solid 4,000 nautical miles. Also, this aircraft has a maximum takeoff weight of 181,200 pounds or 82,191 kilograms and can seat up to a maximum of 189 passengers. Now, that's not all. The aircraft is made out of carbon fibre composite material and high-strength alloys, giving it a better performance due to its light weight. But talking about performance, let's talk about those stunning engines, the LEAP 1B. Produced by CFM, these are the most economical and efficient engines to be fitted to a Boeing 737, and it has the highest bypass ratio too, allowing airliners to save fuel costs and cut down on emissions. So, with all that information, let's start off by talking about the exterior. Overall, the scale of the aircraft is spot on, and just standing here on the ramp makes me excited to take it for its first flight. So, we will look at the modelling first, starting off with the front of the aircraft at the nose wheel. We can see that the front wheel bay has been modelled correctly with all the decals, mechanisms and all the modelling. We can see that the front wheel bay has been modelled correctly and all the mechanisms seems to be there, as well as decals too. The texturing looks great as well, as you can see little oil splats and dirt marks everywhere. Moving towards the nose cone of the aircraft, we can see it's been modelled correctly, and it also has probes and instruments that correspond to the real life aircraft. Moving along to the side of the fuselage towards the wing, as we can see the modelling of the wing is done to perfection, and the engine hangs proudly in position. The texturing and modelling of the engines look great. Even with the high bypass fan, you can see the inner workings of the engine. Moving down to the outer part of the wing, we can see the notorious split scimitar winglets, which I must say, they look so good. Talking more about the wings itself, they have a great amount of wing flex during the flight, and it looks quite realistic when going through turbulence, but I'll show you that in more detail once we're in the air. Moving down to the edge of the wing, we can see the control surfaces, such as the ailerons and flaps. The modelling underneath the spoilers are great too. You can see the hydraulic lines and all the inner workings of the wing as you would in real life. Moving aft, we will take a look at the rear part of the fuselage now, such as the horizontal stabilizer and elevator. There's great animations and modelling throughout the entire section of the rear of the aircraft, and it keeps up with the quality of the rest of the aircraft. Just look at the ripples in the panels, for instance, and the rivets, and the way the lights reflect off of the skin of the aircraft. I mean, come on, it looks so good. Moving to the belly of the aircraft, we can see the skid plate has been modelled nicely. And moving around to the starboard side of the aircraft also, we can see the cargo areas have been modelled with animated doors, which integrate perfectly with GSX. So, That's the key features of the 737 MAX 8 exterior modelling and texturing, and I must say, I'm very impressed with how they've managed to put so much detail into this aircraft. But that's not all. Let's take a look at the exterior lights at night. So here we are then. Look at this. I mean, isn't she stunning? The lights look spectacular, especially when you're in humid conditions, during which you can see the lights reflect off of particles of the air. We can see the intensity of the fresh looking LED light package, which allows for us pilots to see the ground more clearly at night. This is a nice addition to what we would call a dated design of aircraft, but this makes all the difference. The reflections of light on the ground and on the fuselage look great too. Just look at the nav lights for instance, and also the landing lights. But we're not done yet. We'll now take a look at the night lighting from inside the cabin, and already from outside we can see the interior mood lights glowing nicely. Moving inside now, we are met with the cabin lighting display. Now, this is a never seen before feature in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and the guys at Flight 1 have seemed to have done this with multiple things on the 737 MAX 8 to really set a new standard in aircraft development, which I'll show you later, but for now, let's take a look at this. We can adjust the interior lighting with the display. As you can see right now, when I change the settings, it reflects across the entire cabin, and you can also have it in sections as well. We can change the lighting from blue to sunset/sunrise, and even a bright white when you're boarding passengers. So that's the lowdown on the lighting for the iFly 737 MAX. It's definitely a massive part of the product, which helps to enhance the realism and keeps you immersed within the simulation. Now, staying on the inside of the aircraft, we will take a look at the modelling of the interior. We'll start off with the cabin. There's lots to do in the cabin of the iFly 737 MAX, so if you're ever bored during the cruise, hop back here and have a play around. For instance, the overhead lockers are animated, as well as the window shades. The first class seats have tray tables that you can operate. And lastly, we are even able to open the door to the lavatory. And not only that, the lid to the toilet. It's the little things like this that really make this product shine above the rest, and I'm glad that is a part of the product. The overall modelling of the cabin is outstanding, I must say. The level of detail the developers have gone into making this as realistic as possible hasn't gone unnoticed. The same can also be said for texturing. They really haven't missed a beat with this product. I mean, just look at the fabric quality on the cabin seats and the texturing of the window shades. You can see the dotted textures of plastic, and that is really next level stuff. Moving forward to the flight deck, we can open up the door and squeeze into the tight 737 cockpit and take our seat. Some key features of this compared to the PMDG NG is that we have much bigger displays, which are more modern. The windows to the cockpit also open, and we do have a slightly different looking EFB, but apart from that, it's pretty much the same, due to it carrying the same type rating for all pilots. Now, there's a lot of features in the EFB to uncover, such as ground ops, a lot of settings to be able to customize the aircraft to your liking, such as the Wi-Fi antenna. You can also change the ability to pause at top of descent, for instance, and change multiple other things as well. There's quite a lot of items packed into the EFB. I will leave you to discover for yourself when the product becomes available. But right now, we'll take a look at the main pages that we need to use, such as the weight and balance and takeoff performance calculator. A big part of the 737 MAX comes in the form of the systems, and the guys at Flight 1 have managed to hit the nail on the head with all of the systems. It comes standard with a fully functioning FMC, flight management computer, which is linked towards Navigraph, so you can have up-to-date AirAC cycles, which makes it a dream to fly, especially when you're in a network like VATSIM. We also have a fully functioning TCAS system, terrain radar, and all the usual systems that we're used to on the 737. One thing, however, is missing, but no fault of their own, is the weather radar, but this is due to limitations within Microsoft Flight Sim, so there's nothing that can be done about that, I'm afraid. But overall, this add-on is packed with quite a bit of kit. So, with all that out of the way, let's take the aircraft through its normal flight and see what it's like. But already, just looking around, I am really impressed with the product. So, we'll push back the aircraft, we'll get her started, and take her down to London Gatwick. Make sure you follow along to see the flight. Let's start those engines now and have a listen.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel. Set parking brakes. Unlocking gear.
Okay, now we're started up, let's taxi the aircraft down to the runway and get ready for departure. Initially, I thought that taxiing the aircraft was a little bit sensitive, however I got used to it quite quickly, and overall the ground characteristics are quite nice, especially with the braking. If there was one thing I could change, it would be the sensitivity of the nose wheel steering, because I quite like the way the Phoenix have done their nose wheel steering, where you have a little bit of hydraulic lag, but I'm sure this can be corrected in a later update. Bearing in mind this is a pre-release copy, so there are still things that can be changed. Now let's line up on the runway and take off. I'm going to advance the throttles to 40%, and once we're stabilised, we'll go full toga. So my initial thoughts while flying the aircraft then, I think the controls feel very smooth. It has a nice weight to it as well. I can definitely feel that it utilises hydraulics and cables instead of it being a fly-by-wire system such as the Airbus A320. So now that we've got some hand flying under our belt, we'll turn the autopilot on, raise the flaps and head on down to Gatwick, where we'll perform a manual landing and bring her to the gate to give you my final thoughts of the aircraft. Now that was a butter smooth landing, wasn't it? It feels very, very nice to hand fly, especially on the approach. It was good fun. So more features are in development and are planning to be released in the future, but there are no dates available at this time. These features include cabin announcements, the 737 MAX 8 200 variant, and the alternative cabin layout. I'm pretty excited to see how all of this looks in the future. Another thing as well is that where Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is just on the horizon, they plan on giving you a free upgrade to the 2024 version if possible for the first purchasers. The time frame for the purchases to be able to receive a free copy haven't been disclosed yet, due to them not having any development in Flight Sim 2024 just yet. And lastly, we'll talk about the price. The official pricing of the MAX 8 will be $69.95, but if you previously purchased the iFly MAX 8 in P3D V5, you'll be getting a 40% discount, which means you will only be paying $41.97, which is a pretty good bargain. So there we have it, a close look at the 737 MAX 8. Please remember that this is a pre-release copy, so anything in the video that you have seen may change or be updated prior to you being able to get your hands on it. I have to say I'm very impressed with it at this stage, and I believe it'll only get better. But once again, thanks to the guys at Flight One for supplying us with a copy of the aircraft. We really appreciate you sending that over to us, and we'll utilise it in some future streams as well. Let me know what you guys think of the aircraft and whether or not you'll be purchasing it when it's available for release. If you are new around here, then be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ding dong the notification bell. It really does help support our channel. We also have a Discord in the description below. You're more than welcome to join that also. We're posting more on alternative social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. If you want to take a look and follow, the links to those will also be in the description below, and it will be greatly appreciated if you give us a follow over there. But anyway, I'm going to close off the video. Thank you very much for watching. My name has been Adam, and you've been watching Information Alpha. See ya!